What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beginner Bike Giveaway series. We're featuring sweet little Buttercup here today, and we're turning her into a sport touring / adventure Grom with a full adventure package from T-Rex Racing. We've got crash bars, we've got panniers, we've got a luggage rack, we've got a skid plate. It's gonna be insane. Stay tuned. So why do we even have this, Grom? Tell the world.
Well, unless you've been under a rock, you gotta know we're giving these motorcycles away for free over on YammieNoob.co. We've got this Grom, we've got another Grom, we've got a MT-03, a Sparkpillin 401, an SV650X, and an R1, all being given away. So you gotta click that link down below and get signed up. Best chance you've ever had so far to win a bike is right now. So click that link down below and get started.
Hey, Spike told you to do it, not me, so now you gotta go do it. So Spike, we've got a lot to work through today. We've got panniers, we've got a luggage rack, a cage, a skid plate, bark busters. The question is, where do you want to start?
Oh boy, well I think I want to start with the luggage rack because that does also include a fender eliminator kit. So we are going to chop this all off and it's going to look really nice and neat. So
you're telling me this is another episode of Yammie and Spike's Tail Tidy Express?
I think we have a slight bit of, a slight variation on that formula today, but...
Yeah. I think I'm going to get started with the skid plate and see if I can get that mounted up on there, so...
Alright, let's divide and conquer.
Let's rip into it. So one of the first mods we're doing today to the Grom is putting on a skid plate. Why would you want a skid plate? Well, if you take a look here, the Grom does not have what I would call dirt bike ground clearance. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you protect some of these parts right here if you are gonna go on a big bad adventure with your Honda Grom. So this is a very meaty plate from T-Rex Racing, very thick, looks to be aluminum. We're just gonna slap on and it's gonna sit something just like that on this motorcycle. And it's hopefully gonna protect us from the big boulders and stuff we'll be crossing with this thing.
So while Yams is tackling the skid plate, I'm gonna be looking at installing this luggage rack because obviously when you're crushing big highway miles on your Grom, crossing that continental divide, you gotta carry some sandwiches. So we gotta get this luggage rack on here, gotta remove the seat, but first we need to install this fender eliminator kit, which it says need luggage rack to mount this. So we got to get this on here before we do this.
Alrighty guys, so we are removing the main engine bolt here on the Grom so that we can put on this guard here. This is a big beefy cage that's going to go on here. Not the full cage, but this is actually one of the cages we need to then put the skid plate on. So now Spike and I are going to remove this main bolt here. So Spike, if you would so do the honors, let's do this.
You got it held in place?
Yep.
This thing is completely overbuilt. So I gotta remove all of these lights from this thing and it is going to be more work than I want to do it correctly, so I'm going to do it quickly. And there you go, just like that. We got the signals free. I just got to do it to the tail light and then we will officially be done with this big heavy chunk of steel and onto the nice small one.
Alrighty guys, we finished installing our case sliders and first part of our cage here for the Grom. Pretty simple, we just had to undo the two main engine bolts and kind of line things up a little bit. A little fiddly, definitely gonna want to have two people doing this job. And it's looking pretty fresh over here, so let's keep on moving. Okie doke, so quick little update here. We have made a little bit of progress with the fender eliminator kit, got the lights I'm mounting up now. There's actually underneath the camera a giant pile of scrap that used to be the old fender. It got a little destructive trying to get these out of here. They were really built in, but now we bolt these on, run it up into the bike, and then just bolt this guy on and we're ready to go. All right guys, banging out an easy one now. We're just gonna be putting on some bark busters on the Grom. So super easy handguard install, let's get into it. All right, so after kind of moving around, doing a bunch of different projects at the same time, I finally got the fender eliminator
mounted up. I just need to send these bolts home and then connect the wiring harness, which shouldn't be that big a deal. It's actually going to be a lot shorter, so I'm not sure whether or not we're going to save it all, but we'll figure it out as we go, and this project will be done. As you can see here, we have the license plate light, our left turn signal, our right turn signal, and the brake working. So the tail tidy is on. I'm just gonna kind of plumb this up, and then I need to get the big rack on the back for the panniers. They mount up, I believe, right under here. So we're gonna dive right into that next.
Alrighty guys, we just finished installing the bark busters on the Grom. It's a cool look. You get these hand guards on them, and it's especially important when you're whacking your way through the bush with your Honda Grom, as we may or may not be doing. So these are meant to keep protection on your levers in case you go down, meant to protect you in case you hit a bush or something, so you don't slam on your brake or slam on your clutch. And I think they're looking pretty good.
So now that we have the tail tidy all, soldered together and working right, the next step is actually to bolt this up. It actually reuses right here the same bolts that the tail tidy had, so we needed to do the tail tidy first. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there, and then bolts up to the passenger pegs next. And then you're ready to slap all kinds of good stuff on the back of your Grom when you're ready to go out on your adventure. Okay, so as you can see, we now officially have the T-Rex Racing Grom panniers locked in place. They're actually locked onto this. They can't be taken off. But there is a little key lock right here. But now you can fit a whole bunch of sandwiches in here when you go on your adventure. Maybe you throw your tent in the other side. But this bike is officially now ready to go hit the Road of Bones in Mongolia. GS who? No, ADV Grom, baby. Now these right here were obviously the most difficult thing I've done on the Grom all day, and I didn't quite feel comfortable showing it on camera, but we officially now have the swing arm spools and they're basically slide resistant pucks as well. We got those on there, so now if God forbid this manages to touch down, the high spec swing arm here is not going to get messed up, and you can use a nice rear stand on the Grom too, so that's good. So now that you have your luggage rack on here and you're set to do some big miles, what happens if for some reason you snap a chain? Well, you're going to need to suspend your rear wheel. That's what the center stand is for. Any good ADV bike will have a center stand, so you can get out there and fix your bike out while you're on the road. And now we're going to take a minute to get this all bolted on. Should be pretty easy, all things considered, but let's dive in.
Alrighty, Spite, we haven't done a PC camera in a while because the Adventure Grom has been an adventure putting it together. We've been here for like 5 hours.
Yeah, this has been a lot of work, man.
I thought it was going to be easy because it was a little bike, but it's not been easy. We had that bolt down there that you and I have dubbed, what, Thor's bolt?
Yeah, so we had to take this fucking pipe right here and put all of our weight into it to
I was
crack
at the
it
tip
loose.
of the pipe. I was just pushing it completely down like that.
Yeah, it was torqued to like 1,250 foot-pounds of torque.
And it held nothing.
It didn't even hold anything.
Yeah, that was the most infuriating part. We also ran into an issue where we installed one type of cage, which we didn't need to install, then we installed the other type of cage, which now it turns out we could have put the skid plate on the other one too, so we could have kept the other one. It doesn't matter. We're here now. It's okay. And the little Grom is coming along. We are close to being done. All we have to do really is just put the skid plate, and that's it, right?
We put the skid plate on.
And clean up all this crap,
And we clean up all this crap and put the front sprocket cover on, which is just the most itty-bitty baby front sprocket cover I've ever seen in my life. Very cute.
Everything's adorable on the Grom. Look at the rear sprocket.
Yeah,
It's this big.
But
we got the center stand on too now, which is
We've got the center stand, which this thing is beefy.
Yeah. We'll do a full walk around of the Adventure Grom once we're done and cleaned up here and show you guys everything. But we're almost done. Fingers crossed we can get out of here today and go about our lives.
I would like to.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. Alrighty, guys. Answering the question that no one had, can you turn a Grom into an adventure bike? Yes, you can. We've done so many things to this bike today. This took us, what, 6 hours?
Yeah, we were in here bolting stuff onto this bike for the better part of the entire day.
Yeah.
Like
no
you
kidding.
even stopped to take a lunch break and
Yep.
run some errands while we were still just bolting stuff up.
Bolting stuff up. We had to break out nearly every single tool to get this done today.
Yes.
We had the Dremel, we had the soldering iron, we had the screwdriver, every Allen key, every socket, literally everything. The bucket of bolts made an appearance.
Yes.
To finish this job. So let's walk over what each part is on this bike. So we've slapped on these bark busters on here. We've got the nice little protection for your hands, for your levers when you go down on your big adventure. And then we have this little skid plate down here, huh, Spite?
Oh yeah, which, you know, originally I thought it was going to be a little too low to really allow you to even clear a curb. But now I think you'd be able to, I think it's in an okay spot. You know,
Yeah.
you're not going to bottom it out over a speed bump, but you get close.
We were saying that over a speed bump you might shoot a couple sparks while you go over it, and that's a feature of your ADV Grom.
Yeah, totally.
But of course as well, to the skid plate we've attached this enormous cage. This cage was a huge pain in the dick to install. Had to go through 2 engine bolts here, we had to mate it up, line it up, do everything correctly. But it is a beefy unit though. It
is very sturdy. I mean, you could drop this Grom out of a window, like a second story window.
It would probably survive.
Yeah, and that frame is so solidly built, and honestly, it looks kind of cool on there. It's just, it's begging for some highway pegs, though.
I think between this, the panniers, and then the cage, you'll never have an issue crashing this Grom.
Oh,
I think it'll be
absolutely not.
perfectly fine.
And then, you know, to finish it all off, like you had mentioned, we've got our rear rack here that has all sorts of luggage strapped to it. I mean, we can carry, we were trying to joke about how we could pack some smaller form of transportation into these panniers.
Yep.
So we take our Grom to the trails and then put together our other bike to go ride out there. These are huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of capacity here, and you can put a top box on top.
Yeah, easily.
So honestly, the Grom right now is just as practical as a scooter. Any type of major scooter you'd have, this thing would probably be just as good, if not better. And of course, we also installed a center stand. So now you can pop your Grom up, do some chain maintenance right there as is. No more stand required for this little beast, which is pretty cool. So Spite, what do you want to do with the Adventure Grom?
Oh boy.
Because this is Buttercup, your Grom for now, right?
So officially now, I just want to go, I need to like live with this bike and go see if I can go like moto camping or something. Just like do crazy stuff, take it places it's not meant to be. See if we can put some like some tires like my Shinkos on the DRZ onto here and just go, you know, take it to Hidden Falls and see what we can get up to.
Conquer any trail with the Adventure
absolutely.
Grom. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time. That was a little weird, but whatever. I'm tired. I spent the whole day working on the Grom.
Go to YammieNoob.co.
Sign up. We're giving it away. You want an Adventure Grom, don't you? Get out of here. So real bummer. This video is actually over, but you're in luck. There are hundreds of other Yammie Noob videos you can go and check out. Hit this one right over here. Watch it. Do it for Yammie-chan.